If you hadn't been paying attention to what's going on with the Central Coventry Fire District the past 3 years, the new contract proposal unveiled earlier this month sounded pretty good. Staffing cuts, limits on overtime, and increased contributions to health care. But many of the people who attended the meeting and those elected to represent the taxpayers have a different point of view than that of State Receiver Mark Pfeiffer and his new 5-year contract proposal with the union.
The money he saved is truly smoke and mirrors.
Fred Grelinski chairs the current fire board, which replaced a board of directors that drove the district into bankruptcy. But Grelinski's board has had no say in the new contract. That's because under state law, Pfeiffer, a retired Superior Court judge who became the district's 3rd receiver in January, has the sole authority to negotiate contracts and set tax rates, which is what he's doing, largely without the input of the citizens who are footing the bill.
To get any information out of these people, we have to use freedom of information, and even then they don't answer everything.
And you're the board.
And we're the board. He has total disdain for citizens.
The Hummel Report was the first to discover 3 years ago the serious budget problems the district faced and the public outcry that followed. After a consolidation of several districts in 2006 into one Central Coventry district, we discovered the budget had increased more than 60% in 5 years.
Where's the shortfall going to come from?
Over?
Is that it, one and done?
We are discussing. I've asked you twice to stop, sir.
And over.
You tell these taxpayers what that's going to mean regarding the tax increase.
And over. Hundreds turned out to meetings, voting repeatedly to dissolve the district. But the state stepped in, extending the Fiscal Stability Act that had been used to help financially troubled municipalities to fire districts.
What the people were simply saying is this is not what we asked for when we consolidated. We want something that's more affordable.
Representative Patricia Morgan says the taxpayers are being ignored.
Every part of government has stopped them. I mean, a judge took a valid vote that rejected a budget, and he said, well, we don't think they knew what they were voting for. Let's have them do a do-over.
The cuts need to be such that we rebuild the district so we can start over again. That's what bankruptcy is, to put a business back on shape, and that's what we need for our fire district.
I think at this point, the only way to give the people what they have been voting for, what they have been struggling to get, is to restructure the district. Does that mean that you get rid of the entire fire district? Not necessarily, but it means that the way that district provides fire services changes.
Both Morgan and Grelinski say it should start with a privatization of the rescue service, which could save millions and increase service. It's a concept the union has strongly resisted.
We could get a rescue for $500,000 each. Right now we only have 2 rescues. We could get 3 for $1.5 million. They're budgeting that we...
And the 2 cost how much?
Oh, they cost a couple $1 million.
There are private ambulance services all over the state of Rhode Island. It's in Westerly, it's in Lincoln, it's in Bristol, it's in Warren. So this is not revolutionary. Other communities use private ambulances in order to control costs.
And what about safety concerns, which Union President David Gorman has repeatedly raised when any talk about restructuring comes up? The way the department is operating now, are you confident that it's meeting the needs, the fire needs of the people, or not?
Absolutely. The way the system is set up, if there's a call, there's like 3 fire departments that all respond. If the nursing home call closes out, there'll be 3 rescues, 3 fire trucks. Hopkins, Hill, Anthony, and Central Coventry. The system is set up where we do not have to be an island unto ourselves.
Are you an elected official? Are you an elected official?
Fire Board member Marie Baker asked the question that many in the audience 2 weeks ago were thinking. Where is the local representation? Pfeiffer finally asked her to sit down. The receiver said he is saving money through reduced manpower, but Grelinski says former receiver Richard Land had already factored that into the budget.
The big personnel savings is the fact there's fewer people working. Richard Land cashed that check 2 years ago. The people left. We went from 5 stations to 2. Richard Land put it in the budget, and that's how we were able to skate through on the reduced revenue.
And the new contract calls for annual pay raises.
We had to hear how they went 2 years without a raise. Well, welcome to the real world. Even people in state unions and federal employees, we've gone a lot more than that. When my company was in financial trouble, we went 6 years. And even after they got together, then they realigned pay scales and you were lucky to get 1%.
The union at any point over the last 2.5 years could have come to the table and said, okay, how do we restructure the district to make it strong again, to pay off the debt, to make it affordable? They didn't.
Do you think the union has thought we have allies at the State House?
What do you think? Of course. Of course. 3 bills were passed by this General Assembly that basically told the people, we don't want to hear what you have to say. We just want you to pay the bill.
We're doomed because this 5 years is just to make people go away. Pfeiffer's job is to just quiet it down, shaft the people. He'll take his $200 an hour, and in over 5 years, the population in town will change and the people won't know what's going on.
Morgan says the fight is not over yet. Pfeiffer still needs approval of the new contract from a U.S. bankruptcy court judge on Friday, May 1st.
The receiver will be going to federal court now and asking the judge to bless the collective bargaining agreement. We want to be there at the same time saying, hold on a minute, right? There is an alternative here that this receiver has refused to look at.
It's not just a financial bankruptcy. We have a moral bankruptcy. The people in town are sick of these guys.
I think people think this is just about Central Coventry. It is not. It is about every part of government out here that is willing to not put the people first.
In Coventry, Jim Hummel for the Hummel Report.
The next part of the presentation